Offside is the most argued about rule in all of football. It decides goals, it ends title races, and somehow after more than a century, half the people watching still aren't sure how it works. Pubs have emptied over it. Commentators have lost their minds over it. So in the next 8 minutes I'm going to make it make sense, for good. No jargon, no diagrams you need a law degree to read. Just the one idea everything else hangs off, and then a handful of real situations so you'll never have to nod along pretending again. Let's start with what offside is actually for. Here's the problem the rule solves. Imagine there was no offside. Nothing would stop an attacker from simply standing next to the goalkeeper all game, waiting for a long ball, and tapping it in. Football would turn into a throwing contest. Boot it long, goal, hang, repeat. The offside rule exists to stop that. It forces attackers to stay level with the play, not camp behind the defense. So at its heart, offside isn't a punishment. It's the rule that keeps the game spread out, honest, and worth watching. Now the core idea. Picture the pitch with the attacking team moving left to right. The defending team has a goalkeeper and a backline. Find the defender who is second from last, usually that's the last outfield defender, because the goalkeeper is normally the very last one. That second from last defender draws an invisible line straight across the pitch. That line is everything. If an attacker is ahead of that line, closer to the goal than the second from last defender, they are in an offside position. Behind the line, or even level with it, and they're fine. One line. That's the whole geometry of the rule. But being in an offside position is only half the story, and this is exactly where people get it wrong. To actually be given offside, two separate things both have to be true. Question 1. Position. At the precise moment a teammate plays the ball, is the attacker ahead of that second from last defender, in the opponent's half, and ahead of the ball? If yes, they're in an offside position. Question 2. Involvement. Are they then involved in the play, receiving the ball, challenging an opponent for it, or clearly gaining an advantage from where they were standing? You need both. Offside position plus active involvement. Position alone is not an offense. A player can stand in an offside position all day, and as long as the ball never comes to them and they don't interfere, the referee does nothing. That single distinction clears up about 90% of the arguments you'll ever have. There's one more thing that trips everybody up: timing. Offside is judged at the exact instant the ball is played by the teammate. Not when it arrives, not when the attacker starts running, not when they touch it. That frozen moment is the only one that matters. This is why a striker can look 10 yards offside on TV and still be perfectly onside. Watch the replay properly. The player is flying onto the ball, but rewind to the kick, the moment the passer's foot meets it, and they were level. They timed the run. They didn't beat the offside trap by being fast. They beat it by leaving late. Great strikers don't outrun the line. They read that one frozen frame better than the defenders do. And a small mercy that decides huge moments, level is onside. If, at that moment the ball is played, the attacker is exactly level with the second from last defender, they are not offside. The benefit of the doubt goes to the attacker. That's why you'll hear the defender played him on. If a defender steps up a fraction too slowly, the attacker who was level stays onside, and suddenly there's a one-on-one with the keeper. Let's run the situations you'll actually see, because the theory clicks the moment you watch it move. Scenario 1, the clean run. The attacker starts behind the last defender, the pass is threaded ahead, and they sprint onto it. Onside, because when the ball was played, they were behind the line. Scenario 2, the goal hanger. The attacker is already beyond the last defender when the pass is played, then runs on and scores. Offside, they were ahead of the line at the key moment. Scenario 3, dead level. Ball is played, the attacker and the last defender are shoulder to shoulder. Onside level counts for the attacker. Scenario 4, the backward pass. A teammate plays the ball backwards to a player who's further up the pitch. You can never be offside from a ball that travels backward to you, because you have to be ahead of the ball, and here the ball is ahead of you. And scenario 5, the deflection. If the ball comes off a defender deliberately, a clearance, a pass, it resets, and the attacker is onside. But if it just ricochets off a defender who was making a tackle, the original offside can still stand. Played deliberately by an opponent resets it. An accidental deflection does not. Now let's kill the myths fast. 1. You cannot be offside directly from a throw-in, a corner, or a goal kick. Stand wherever you like. From those 3 restarts, offside is off. 2. You cannot be offside in your own half. You have to be inside the opponent's half at the moment the ball is played. And 3. Offside isn't about gaining a yard of grass. It's about that line and that moment. If you remember nothing else, remember it's never just he was ahead. It's was he ahead when the ball was played, and did he get involved? This is also why technology changed the game. The lines you see drawn on the replay are the referees finding that second from last defender and freezing the exact frame the ball was kicked. At the 2026 World Cup, semi-automated offside uses cameras tracking the ball and dozens of points on every player's body to build that frozen moment automatically, turning a split-second judgment call into something close to a measurement. Same rule. Same line. Same single moment. Just measured to the centimeter now. So that's offside. 1 line at the second from last defender. 1 moment when the ball is played. And 2 boxes to tick: offside position and active involvement. Get those, and you'll see the flags before the linesman raises them. If this finally made it click, subscribe. We break down one football rule like this every week. I'll see you in the next one.